understood how they had arisen. A creepy old house and the natural tendency of small-town people to gossip and embellish the truth? Yup, the place must be haunted. From those roots, the rumors and stories had grown and spread. That hunter killed by the tree was weird, though. A tree dropped on the guy on a clear fall day a few years back and crushed the poor bastard 50 feet from the house. Tom had seen the guy, crushed and impaled by a branch. Ugh. Probably not ghostly, but certainly spooky. He stopped, setting the pitchfork against the wall of the foyer. The house inside looked much like the exterior, a frame of heavy timbers and beams, plaster walls, a grand house, really, not like any other farmhouse he'd ever seen. To his surprise, other than dust and cobwebs, the house had suffered little since Elizabeth and the boys left. A lone oil painting, a portrait of an older woman dressed in vintage clothing, hung on the back wall. Her face was narrow, pale, and homely, framed by gray hair, lips drawn tight and grim. She wore a black gown, drew up to a white pleated collar. Tom knew Elizabeth hated it, though she'd never said why. Elizabeth was the only ghost who haunted him here. She had left a year ago, but Tom still loved her. A one-sided affair that began as a childhood crush and lingered after she married his best friend, Alan MacKenzie. Elizabeth was the only reason he looked after the house. She'd never put it on the market, keeping alive a glimmer of hope that she might someday return. What if she did? He didn't have a chance with her, never had. He could still picture her, felt a resonant longing whenever he thought of her. A spasm of guilt twisted in his stomach when, as an afterthought, he remembered Sally. Sally was his girl and things were serious, but Tom suspected Sally knew she was his second choice. Sally was like that. She just knew things, always had. In some ways, she was spookier than the house. Elizabeth had never been back, never called. Tom thought they were friends, but felt abandoned now, though Alan's death had been hard on her. In all fairness, maybe she couldn't face the house yet. The place felt deserted, yet he now heard a low, steady beat, like the muffled bass of a boombox. The sound seemed to be coming from upstairs, toward the back of the house. No voices, no footsteps, just that steady, low-frequency pulse. Given the attack last fall, apprehension tingled in his belly. He didn't need this aggravation and was behind on his field work. Better to walk away. But he couldn't. Curiosity and a sense of responsibility pushed him forward. As he crossed the foyer and started up the stairs, the clomp of his work boots on the maple floor echoed from the ceiling above. The pulsing noise continued, steady, deep. A heartbeat, he mused. What the hell was that sound? Must be a boombox. But where? It grew louder, seemed to emanate from everywhere, and sounded uncannily like a Pink Floyd song. Goosebumps rippled up his arm to his neck, the tickle of cold fingers playing over his skin, a creepy, invisible touch of fear and anxiety. Tom hated this disquiet. He was no longer a child, and these were childish feelings. Dummy, he mumbled under his breath. Trying to relax, Tom pushed his feet forward, up the remaining stairs, creeping to the right along the hallway, glancing in each open door, seeing nothing. His senses seemed amplified, the musty odor of the old house, the surreal light filtered by dirty windows. The creaks and scrapes of his boots on the plank floor were hollow, resonating about the house in sync with the undulating bass tone. The house itself stirred. The floorboards seemed alive with the subtle beat. Was he imagining that? Though unsure, his pulse quickened, his neck ran cold.